Listen, a real woman knows that silence is strength. The world keeps telling her to be loud, to show everything, to prove everything. But truth is, power moves quiet. See, a woman's value ain't in what she exposes, it's in what she protects. And every man don't deserve front row seats to your soul. So let me tell you something. A woman must always hide three things from a man. Not out of fear, not out of games, but out of respect for her own energy.
And mystery is power.
See, when you learn to move in silence, you start to realize how much energy you've been wasting trying to prove things to people who never even mattered. Everybody want to be seen, everybody want to be heard, but few understand that the loudest one in the room is usually the weakest. Real strength don't need to scream. It just moves, it builds, it becomes undeniable over time. When you keep certain things to yourself, your emotions, your plans, your struggles, you protect your peace, because not everybody's energy aligns with yours. You might think you're just sharing, being open, but sometimes you're feeding people information they can use against you. Some folks don't want to see you fail, but they don't want to see you win too much either. That's why mystery is necessary. You can't let everybody read your book before you've even finished writing it. Power comes from control, and control comes from discipline. Discipline to hold your tongue, discipline to not react, discipline to move, even when nobody's clapping. When you quiet the noise, you can finally hear your own thoughts. That's where clarity lives. That's where wisdom grows. People respect what they can't easily access. When you're too available, too open, too easy to read, they stop valuing you. But when you got layers, when you protect your story, when you make people earn your truth, you create curiosity. And curiosity keeps value alive. Mystery don't mean hiding who you are. It means knowing who deserves to see every version of you. You can be real and still private. You can be honest and still quiet. Every part of you ain't for public consumption. Some parts belong to your growth, your grind, your peace. When you move with mystery, you move with confidence. You stop needing validation. You stop explaining yourself to people who couldn't understand your vision, even if you drew it for them. You stop chasing attention because you already know your value. You understand that the world don't need to know everything, they just need to feel your presence. Every strong woman, every wise man, every legend, they all have mystery. They let their results talk. They let their consistency speak louder than any caption. They didn't post every plan, they didn't tell every detail, they just built. And one day people looked up like, damn, how did they do it? That's the point. You don't tell them, you show them. You gotta learn to protect your spiritual energy like it's gold, because it is. When you start revealing too much, people start pulling from your spirit without even realizing it. They start planting doubt in your dreams, fear in your goals, hesitation in your confidence. That's why silence is sacred. That's why privacy is peace. The moment you stop broadcasting your every move, you start moving with purpose. You stop performing for attention and start progressing for legacy. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. That's how real ones rise, not by telling the world what they're about to do, but by doing it until the world can't ignore it. Mystery makes people wonder. Wonder makes people respect. Respect creates space, and space gives you control. That's power. Sometimes when you walk in a room and say nothing, that silence speaks louder than 1,000 words, because people feel presence before they hear sound. When your energy is strong, when your focus is clear, when your purpose is steady, you don't gotta explain it. They feel it. You ever notice how people treat you different when they can't figure you out? That's not by accident. That's alignment. That's the universe protecting your peace. When you're unreadable, you're untouchable. When you're unpredictable, you're unstoppable. So don't be afraid to keep certain things to yourself. Don't let the world rush you into revealing your every thought, your every plan, your every move. Let your actions be the mystery that keeps them guessing. Let your progress be the story that unfolds slow but powerful. Because mystery ain't about hiding, it's about mastering. Mastering yourself, your emotions, your energy. It's about understanding that peace comes from privacy, growth comes from silence, and real power, the kind that don't fade, comes from the discipline to stay mysterious in a world that craves exposure. When you learn that lesson, you stop chasing attention, you stop oversharing, you start building, you start glowing different, and the world starts noticing without you saying a word. Emotional control is one of the hardest lessons you'll ever have to master, but it's also one of the most powerful. Most people think strength is about what you can lift, what you can buy or who you can impress. But real strength is what you can control, especially your emotions. Because when somebody can play with your feelings, they own your focus. And once they own your focus, they own your future. You got to understand something. Every reaction costs energy. Every time you explode, every time you let somebody pull you out of character, you give away a piece of your power. It's easy to get angry. It's easy to get emotional. But discipline, that's rare. Calmness under pressure, that's maturity. That's when you know you're leveling up. When you control your emotions, you control your world. You stop moving off impulse and start moving off intention. You stop letting your feelings dictate your decisions. You stop letting other people's energy decide how your day's gonna go. Because not everybody around you deserves access to your peace. Some people live off chaos. They'll start fires just to see how quick you burn. But when you master your emotions, they can't reach you. They can't touch you. You become untouchable. See, emotional control ain't about being cold or heartless. It's about being aware. It's about knowing that reacting in anger can ruin what patience could have protected. It's about choosing silence when you could have screamed, walking away when you could have fought, thinking twice when you could have acted once. That's power. That's growth. People who can't control their emotions end up controlled by them. They make decisions off temporary feelings that lead to permanent consequences. They let frustration break them, jealousy blind them, or pain define them. But when you learn to breathe, to pause, to reflect, you shift from being reactive to being intentional. That's where peace starts living. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. And your response is what shapes your life. You get fired, you can panic, or you can plan. Somebody betrays you, you can plot revenge, or you can level up. It's your choice. Emotional control is the difference between destruction and direction. The streets, business, relationships, it's all the same game. Whoever stays calm under pressure wins. Because when everybody else loses their cool, that's when you start seeing the truth. You see who people really are when things go wrong. You see what's real and what's fake. And if you keep your emotions in check, you'll always make better decisions than the ones moving off ego. Don't let people see they can get a reaction out of you. That's how they keep control. You ever notice how some folks love to push your buttons? That's because they don't have control over their own life. So they try to control your emotions. But when you stop reacting, you take that control back. You take your peace back. Real power is silent, calm, unshaken. You can walk through chaos and still move like you're built for peace. That's when people start respecting you differently, because they see no matter what happens, you don't fold. You might bend, you might hurt, you might cry in private, but you don't lose your center. You don't let nobody dictate your frequency. Your emotions can be your biggest weapon or your biggest weakness. Anger can push you to greatness if you use it right. Pain can turn into purpose if you don't let it drown you. Every emotion has energy. It's up to you whether you waste it or channel it. That's emotional intelligence. That's what separates people who react from people who rise. You got to remember, not every emotion deserves an audience. Some feelings are meant to be processed, not performed. Learn to sit with yourself. Learn to heal without announcing it. Learn to cry, pray, journal, whatever helps you release. But don't lose yourself in the process, because every time you lose control, you delay your progress. Emotional control is like armor. It protects your energy from the noise of the world. It keeps you grounded when life throws punches. It reminds you that peace is not found. It's built inside you. And it's built every time you choose discipline over impulse, grace over rage, silence over shouting. The ones who master their emotions, they move different. They don't chase arguments. They don't explain themselves to people committed to misunderstanding them. They don't let pain make them bitter or success make them arrogant. They just move, focus, balance, unbothered. And that's the lesson. Control your emotions before they control you. Because when you can stay calm in the storm, you don't just survive, you steer the ship. And that's real power. That's real growth. And that's how you win every time. Vision and dreams, that's the heartbeat of everything you do. Without vision, you're just moving in circles. Without dreams, you just surviving, not living. Everybody say they want success. Everybody talk about goals, but only a few really see it before it exists. You gotta see it when nobody else does. You gotta believe it when nobody else believes. That's what separates dreamers from doers. Your vision is personal, it's sacred, it's the map to where you're meant to go, and not everybody deserves to hold that map. Some people can't see past their own fears, and they'll project that blindness on you. They'll try to talk you out of what you were built to do just because they couldn't do it themselves. That's why you protect your dream. You move in silence until it's strong enough to speak for itself. When you got vision, you don't wait for permission. You don't need validation. You move because you know where you're headed, even if the road don't make sense right now. You keep building, keep working, keep showing up day after day, night after night, because you can already see what's coming. You can feel it in your gut before it ever shows up in reality. But here's the thing, vision comes with loneliness. The higher you climb, the thinner the air gets. Not everybody's built to see what you see. Not everybody's built to go where you're going. You might lose friends. You might lose love. You might lose people who say they got your back but can't handle your growth. That's part of the journey, because real vision requires sacrifice. Dreams don't come easy. They test you. They make you question yourself. They break you down before they build you up. But that's how you know it's real. If it was simple, everybody would have it. You gotta be willing to walk through doubt, through pain, through silence, and still believe in the picture you got in your head. That's vision. That's faith in motion. People gonna doubt you until you make it undeniable. That's why you can't talk too much about your dream. Every word you speak gives it energy, but it also gives others a chance to drain it. You gotta learn when to speak and when to move quiet. Let your actions tell the story. Let your work make the noise. Because once the vision starts turning into reality, you won't have to explain nothing. The results will speak fluently. Sometimes your vision won't even make sense to the people closest to you. They'll look at you like you're crazy. They'll say you're reaching too hard. But that's the point. A vision ain't supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to stretch you. It's supposed to scare you a little. That's how you know it's real. Because the dream that don't challenge you ain't big enough to change you. You got to protect your energy around dream killers, people who laugh when you talk about your plans, people who tell you to be realistic. They don't mean harm. They just can't see what you see. Don't argue with them. Don't convince them. Just work. Let your grind prove your point. Your vision will show you things before the world catches up. You'll feel shifts before anybody else notices. You'll get ideas in silence that change your direction. That's why you can't ignore intuition. You got to trust your inner voice. That's your compass. That's what keeps you from drifting off course. The journey to your dreams is long. It's tiring. Sometimes it's lonely, but every step teaches you something. Every setback adds a layer to your character. Every no sharpens your focus. Every delay builds your patience. You start realizing the vision ain't just about reaching the destination. It's about becoming the person capable of living it. Don't rush the process. The seed you plant today won't grow overnight. But if you keep watering it with discipline, consistency, and belief, one day you'll wake up and it'll be real. People will call it luck, but you'll know it was years of vision. Keep your dreams sacred. Don't let temporary emotions make you doubt long-term goals. Don't let small minds make you shrink your plans. Don't let fear make you forget your purpose. Stay focused, stay grounded, and remember, a clear vision don't need approval, it needs execution. Every time you take a step toward your dream, no matter how small, you're proving that your belief is stronger than your doubt. And one day that vision in your head becomes the life you're living. That's the power of a dream backed by faith. Grind in silence. So keep saying it even when nobody else does. Keep building it even when nobody's watching. Because the ones who keep their eyes on the vision, the ones who turn dreams into legacy. Pain in the past. They shape you in ways you don't even realize until you look back and see how far you came. Everybody got a story. Everybody been through something that almost broke them. But the difference between the ones who stay stuck and the ones who rise is what they do with that pain. You can let it define you, or you can let it refine you. You can carry it like a burden, or you can wear it like armor. Pain has a way of showing you who you really are. When everything's smooth, everybody looks strong. But when life hits you hard, when things fall apart, when people you trusted switch up, that's when your real character shows. That's when you find out if you built for this or not. Because pain don't just test your body, it tests your mind, your heart, your spirit. Most people run from pain, they numb it, hide it, distract themselves, pretend like it ain't there. But real growth only comes when you face it head on. You can't heal what you keep avoiding. The same wound you ignore today will bleed again tomorrow. The same past you try to forget will repeat itself until you learn the lesson it came to teach you. That's why pain is a teacher. It don't come to destroy you, it comes to wake you up. You see, your past is heavy. It carries memories, regrets, and moments you wish you could erase. But every chapter, even the dark ones, got purpose. You needed those losses. You needed that heartbreak. You needed that betrayal because it built something in you that comfort never could. It gave you depth. It gave you strength. It made you hungry for peace. You can't let your past make you bitter. Let it make you better. Stop telling the same painful story like it's your identity. You're not what happened to you, you're what you did with it. You're how you bounce back. You're how you turn the pain into fuel. You're how you refuse to quit when everything in you said give up. Sometimes you gotta forgive just to free yourself, not for them, for you. Because holding on to pain don't punish the person who hurts you. It poisons you. It keeps your heart heavy. It keeps your spirit tired. Forgiveness ain't weakness, it's release. It's choosing not to let the past control your future. And don't let nobody use your past against you. You've been through things, yeah, but that don't make you broken. That makes you real. That makes you human. The scars you got, they ain't ugly. They're proof that you survived what was meant to destroy you. You don't gotta hide them. You just don't let everybody touch them, because not everybody got clean hands. You learn to move different after pain. You learn to love slower, think deeper, speak softer. You stop chasing validation. You stop explaining yourself. You start valuing peace more than company. That's what pain teaches you, that silence is healing, solitude is strength, and peace is priceless. But don't get it twisted. Healing don't mean forgetting. You don't have to erase the past to outgrow it. You just have to stop living there. You take the lesson, leave the weight. You stop asking why it happened and start asking what it taught you. You stop wishing it was different and start realizing it made you different. There's beauty in the struggle when you start seeing it from the right angle. The same pain that made you cry also made you wise. The same past that broke you also built your foundation. You might not have chosen what hurts you, but you can choose what it creates in you. You can let it turn you cold, or you can let it turn you into light. Real ones don't run from their past, they face it, they heal it, and they use it to guide others. That's legacy. That's how you turn pain into purpose. Because once you heal, you start realizing that what you went through wasn't for nothing. Somebody else out there needs the strength you gained from surviving. The past is not your prison, it's your proof. Proof that you made it through, that you're still here, that you're still fighting. Don't let it chain you, let it remind you, let it push you forward. Every scar is a story of resilience. Every tear a seed that grew into wisdom. So when you look back, don't see pain, see power. Don't see loss, see lessons. Don't see regret, see redirection. Everything that tried to break you actually built the version of you that's unshakable now. And that's the truth. Pain didn't defeat you. It introduced you to your strength. Self-worth, that's the foundation of everything. If you don't know who you are, the world will keep trying to tell you. People will treat you how you let them, and if you don't set the price on yourself, they'll discount you every time. The way you see yourself sets the tone for every relationship, every opportunity, every dream you chase. When you move like you know your value, the energy around you shifts. You stop begging for respect and start commanding it. Too many people out here trying to prove they matter, chasing validation, seeking approval. But the truth is, when you really understand your worth, you don't need confirmation. You already know you're valuable. You don't move for attention, you move with intention. You don't force connections, you attract alignment. Because when you operate from self-worth, you stop moving from desperation. You stop settling for less just to feel something. Knowing your worth don't mean thinking you're better than anybody. It means you finally stop competing. You start realizing you don't gotta chase what's meant for you. You don't gotta lower yourself to be accepted. You don't gotta overgive to be loved. You just gotta be real, be focused, and stay consistent. The right people, the right energy, the right blessings, they find you when you move in authenticity. See, self-worth is quiet. You don't need to prove itself. It's that calm confidence that says, I know what I bring, so I'm not afraid to walk away if it ain't right. When you reach that level, you stop being impressed by potential and start respecting patterns. You stop waiting for people to see your value and start surrounding yourself with those who already do. You stop asking for loyalty from people who can't even give honesty. But self-worth starts from within. You can't find it in likes, followers, or relationships. You got to build it in silence through the nights you doubted yourself, through the losses that made you question everything. You build it when you choose yourself even when it hurts. When you walk away from what's familiar but toxic, when you stop accepting apologies without changed behavior, that's when you start valuing your peace more than your comfort. Don't let the world trick you into thinking your worth depends on what you have. Your value ain't in your clothes, your car, or your status. It's in your character. It's in how you move when nobody's watching. It's in how you treat people who can't do nothing for you. It's in your discipline, your focus, your resilience. Real worth is internal. It don't fade when the world stops clapping. There's power in saying no. When you know your worth, you stop being afraid to draw lines. You stop feeling guilty for choosing peace over pressure. You start realizing that protecting your energy is not selfish, it's necessary. Because every time you tolerate less than you deserve, you teach people it's okay to disrespect you. But every time you stand firm, you remind the world that your love, your time, your presence, all of that comes with standards. Self-worth don't come overnight. It's built through seasons of pain, growth, and reflection. You gotta unlearn the lies you were told about yourself. You gotta stop looking for validation from people who can't even validate themselves. You gotta forgive yourself for the times you accepted less because you didn't know better. Growth starts when you stop blaming the world and start taking accountability for how you show up. When you finally realize your worth, you start moving different. You stop chasing closure. You give it to yourself. You stop explaining your value. You show it through action. You stop settling for almost love, almost respect, almost effort. You want real, you demand real, and you're patient enough to wait for it. And the beautiful thing is, when you move with that kind of energy, life starts matching it. The things that used to drain you don't even tempt you anymore. The people that used to break you lose access. You stop fighting for a seat at tables that were never built for you, and you start building your own. That's self-worth. It's power wrapped in peace. You start realizing that your energy is currency. Every time you give it to the wrong person or situation, you spend it where it won't return. But when you invest it in yourself, your growth, your purpose, your healing, it multiplies. You start glowing different. You start attracting different. Because when you know your value, you become magnetic. So don't shrink yourself to fit in. Don't let anybody make you question your greatness just because they can't see it. You don't need to convince them they'll see it when you start living it. Walk with confidence, move with purpose, and remember, your worth was never up for debate. You were valuable before they noticed, and you'll still be valuable after they forget. That's the truth. When you know who you are, you can lose everything and still not lose yourself. That's real wealth. That's real peace. And that's self-worth. So to every woman listening, you ain't got to be loud to be noticed. You ain't got to be open to be understood. Just move with grace, move with purpose, and never forget the realest ones protect their energy in silence. Because the world don't need to know everything about you. It just needs to feel your presence.